like we used to edit like probably 2 or 3 podcasts a week, and I'd sit through the whole fucking thing. So it'd be, say it was an hour, you'd sit through it, cut every angle, boom, boom, boom.
Podcasts are the heavy ones.
It was tedious. It was tedious, and now Firecut can do it in like fucking 20 seconds. Just bum, bum, bum. Better than I could do it.
Ooh, thank you.
Like, yeah. So now we're doing about 10, 12, 15 podcasts a week. And then the other thing is exporting times. When you're exporting like an hour and a half fucking heavy 4K footage, it's like you got to sit there for 2 hours and just go and have your lunch or something because you can't do anything else.
You come back and it's not rendered properly.
Blowing steam out of it. Yeah,
Every
big fucking
time.
error message on the screen. Fuck.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
And people don't actually take that into account, do they? Like,
No.
like the time of like literally, I could export something on the computer now, and it literally takes an hour and a half. So you go and have your lunch or whatever. But that's an hour and a half every day that you can't do anything unless you've got another laptop. And it's like it is
Put
just
that on
frustrating.
the invoice just to piss the clients off. What do you mean it was an hour and a half to export a video?
Yeah, the steam that came off me fucking laptop could have
I had
powered
to
the
go
bloody
to Curry's
train.
and buy a new laptop, actually. It was driving me mad.
Well, I had the Dell laptop for like 7 years and it was fucking amazing. 8 gig of RAM. Woo! Amazing. Short form content belter. As soon as it went above like anything above like sort of half an hour footage, it was just like slowing down. Yeah, it was decent. Yeah, it was decent.
I'm still using a MacBook Pro that I've had for about 9 years.
Well, I bought a
And
MacBook. Well, actually, Becky bought me a MacBook Pro, and it's 16 gig. And the difference between a 16 gig RAM and an 8 gig RAM is just. I mean, it's not even a high spec laptop. The one I've got, but the difference between that RAM is just a joke.
No, I need to just buy a new one. It's just
Yeah.
every time I go into the Apple shop, it's too shiny.
It's one of them
I get
where,
distracted.
it's one of them where, like, I think it's just when you do something like we do, it's very easy to get like shiny objects into them. Cameras, what, microphones, laptops,
Yeah.
and they're spending a fucking fortune.
And then you film on your phone.
Yeah, and I think that's a big misconception that people have. Is like, you've got a business, so you must be a fucking millionaire. You must be like fucking loaded. You must have loads of money being busy like that. It's like, you don't get it.
No. I gotta eat, man.
Yeah. I've got 2 kids who eat more than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
You could buy a nice camera, but the SD card costs 250 quid.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, the ones we got in these podcast ones, the ones you can see in the monitor, 75 quid each for a fucking
It's
Samsung
stupid, isn't
SD card. 75 quid. So for them 3, it was like 200 something quid. I'm like, sheesh.
No, it's ridiculous.
Sheesh, yeah. Not people said how we spent like over 20 grand in this room, cameras lighting, like walls, everything. People said, how the fuck did you spend 20 grand? It's like, go and price it all up and see if you can do it cheaper.
Yeah.
You can't.
I had the same. I was having a heart attack when we were decorating my office, and I was like, okay, this feels like I'm spending far too much. But then I had to tell myself, well, you're not going to spend any money on anything for the next 6 months at least. So you go and get that cushion, love.
Yeah. So we know each other. We've known each other for a while now. But like, for anyone in my audience who might not be aware of who Georgia Terry is, formerly Georgia Flynn.
Yeah, it still feels weird being called Georgia Terry.
Yeah.
Who's she?
I know.
When's she arriving?
I know. When I emailed you saying it was Georgia Flynn email, I was like, how come I remember that now? Yeah. Who are you? What do you do? And tell people about your world of content creation.
So I've been doing content creation since I could walk. No, it's been it's one of them.
How old are you now?
32. I think.
Baby.
I have to ask my kid.
Baby.
He reminds me.
Baby.
But yeah, I started genuinely like photography and stuff when I was about 15, and I was one of those annoying kids that just knew I wanted to do that, and I just pursued it. Went to uni and did it.
That's
came back and did it. A rare kind. But I've been doing it formally as a job for about 18 years. For different companies, loads of different clients. But more recently, 7 months ago, set up my own business. That was kind of out of a forced decision I've always had in the back of my head. Maybe one day, but then people would always say to me, like, go and set up on your own. I'm like, well, I like the salary, I like the pension, I like the turning up 9 to 5 and having cups of teas with everyone. But it came to a point after maternity leave, after having my second kid, I was like, I'm going to pay 20 grand in childcare, which is like more than half my salary. And I'm not going to see my kids. I'm going to run around like a blue horse fly trying to get to work. And in the end, I worked it out that I was working full time for a £5 a day. So
Wow.
I said to my boss, listen, I can't. Yeah. Then I started Seabag Marketing, which is basically just using all the skills that I've learned over the past 18 years and putting them into the industry how I best see fit.
So would you say photography is your main thing?
Not anymore. If you asked me 10 years ago, then I'd say I'm a photographer. But now photography is like probably the thing I do least. I think it's because like over time working for different people, I realised that my favourite thing to do was marketing. I love the data behind it. I love trying to get more business, brand perception. So I kind of use my skills in photography and video to put that into marketing.
Is that like an evolution of just like the way the industry's gone, or just like your own personal growth?
I think it's both. I feel like as a photographer, you get a bit bored. Like I have to do certain things to keep my creative photography brain going. Like when I was in my 20s and I had no kids and no responsibilities, I was photographing gigs 5 days a week. Like I'd finish my full-time job and then go and photograph a gig for a magazine till midnight, edit it till 2 a.m. and wake up at 7 and be in the office. And I was like, I drove like 10 hours to photograph Coldplay once after work and we're still back in the next day after driving to Cardiff.
Oh my God.
But I haven't got the clout for that now.
Yeah.
I need sleep.
See, I got into it a different way, you know, like I started as a video editor. When I say I use the term video editor lightly, I wasn't doing like complex videos, and I was literally just editing memes on my phone basically, and just skit videos in my garden, and that was it. Like that was my entry into it, and then it kind of rolled into it, and I didn't really take much notice of photography at the time because like I didn't want to, like I always had it in my head, and I kind of resonated with what you said then about like it. I felt like more than, I always felt like I was just more than like a videographer or, no disrespect to videographers, I love videographers.
How dare you?
I know, and I love photographers as well. I love all creatives, but I just felt like I was more than that, like name, like that job title. And I wanted the business to be more than that job title. I didn't want to just be like a wedding photographer or an event photographer.
I couldn't cope. Like I photograph weddings, but every time I do one, I'm like, this is long. I couldn't do this every day. There's only so many times you can compliment a crisp ball.
I remember videoing the wedding once, and I went there, and it was like, I went to video the bride in the morning doing the makeup and all that, and then getting to the church and done the church, then back to the place, and it was great. Like I loved it, but there was like probably 4 hours in the day where I was just sitting around, just twiddling my thumbs. And again, it was like I could be making more of my time than this. Yeah,
I got smarter with that actually. So I've been doing weddings for like 10 years on the side, and I learned that when they all sit down for your dinner, nobody wants a photo taken because they've got a mouthful of food. So I'd sit and edit pretty much all of the photos then and there.
Wow.
And then I knew that I only had the 2 hours when they've done the dancing, the after party, whatever, to edit in the next few days.
I love it.
So that streamlined it way better.
Yeah, I love it.
Because I had nothing to do. I was just sitting there, staring at people having a beer.
Like wedding content creation is like the go-to entry-level thing for new creatives. It's like, I'm going to do weddings.
Yeah, it is.
Even it's good money and it's good experience.
It is. Even when I was setting up this business, I set up, I like made my wedding business bigger, and I was like, right, I'm going to rebrand it. I'm going to post consistently, and I've booked a few weddings, but I was like, oh, it's gone well. I don't have to do weddings. Phew.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone who's booked a wedding with me. I'll still turn up and do the job, but
I kept seeing all these things on LinkedIn and Instagram saying like, you need to target richer people because they pay better and all that, and it was just the typical guru marketing stuff.
Yeah. Earn 100k a month doing
this.
Yeah. Fuck off.
It was all that stuff. And you're like, target richer people because they pay better. But it kind of just stuck in my head of like, I need to get out of that cycle of like charging you 200 quid a month. Like, I need to get out of that. Because at the time we were charging like, I think we were charging like 250 quid a month to do like social media management. you know, if you're 19 and you've got a little side gig, it's probably decent enough money.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got 4 or 5 business. But for us, we wanted to make it into a business, and it was like...
Yeah. I think as well, you've got to know your worth. Like, social media management takes a lot of work, especially like I do that for clients now.
And,
but I'm like,
and it's tedious
you
work.
get monthly like high-end photography, videography, copywriting, everything. I'm like, I can't do that cheaply. I'm sorry, but
I always
it's too much effort.
Well, I always tell a story of like, there was this client that we've got who is a great client, but at the time before he signed up, I was getting a few like murmurs through the grapevine of like he wasn't ideal to work for, he was not a very nice person, like all this stuff. And so I had this perception going in there of like, I didn't really want to work with him. He knows this.
Hope so.
He does. and then so I went in and I was like, right, I'm just going to charge him absolutely through the nose. I'm going to like, 10x me rate. And I went in there and I was like, it's $2,000 a month. And he went, yes, sound. And I was like, okay. Fuck, what do I do now?
Now you've got to deliver.
Yeah, now I've got to deliver. So worked with him, turned out really well. We ended up doing loads of employee advocacy stuff, like loads of cool stuff. And about 3 months in, I was having a coffee with him one day, and I told him that story, and I was like, you know, you've never been like that with me, but I've been told loads of stories about this and that. And he was like, look, mate, I run a £15 million business. I just don't like people pussyfooting around me.
Yeah.
Just tell me straight.
Yeah.
Don't be wishy-washy.
They just want decision makers.
And he was like, you've always just been straight up with me, so I've always been straight. And don't be wrong, he doesn't suffer any fools. And he, you know, I don't think he'd have any problem sacking me if I'd done a bad job.
Yeah.
But he was always been sound. He's always been sound. So it was that perception. But then from that point on, I realised we don't charge $2,000 a month for every client. But I realised there's fucking loads of businesses and people out there that'll pay that money quite easily. And they're not even they're a big business, but they're not a fucking, you know, gigantic mammoth business. They do 10 million quid a year. It's a fucking big business.
It's an odd one, isn't it? Because some businesses are that size and they will question every decision behind your price. And then other businesses are much smaller and they won't question it.
Yeah.
But then everyone also wants different results.
I think there's like a perception as well of like, it's almost because we live in this like more transparent world where everyone can see each other on social and stuff and on LinkedIn. You know, almost like the CVs and stuff that you send to businesses, it matters as much anymore because they can check it out on Instagram or something beforehand.
Exactly.
So because of that, you kind of expected just to know your stuff. It's like the bare standard of going in somewhere. Like, for example, if me and you team up and go and work with a business, that business just expects us to know our shit. Like, it's just a bare basic thing. And you should. Yeah, absolutely.
End off. You should.
So if you can't do that, there's an issue. But I always think if there's 20 content rooms or 20 C-Bank marketings all in a row, what makes them pick your one? The same business, same concept, same pricing. What makes them pick you? It's us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the fact that we're like decent people and good to work with.
I had this massive debate in my head when I was setting up the business. I mean, I was already doing it from a point of fear anyway, because it wasn't something I was looking to do. But I was like, well, I've got nothing to go. I was even like in Nando's with my husband, and I was like, see, they look like they're having a lovely time. I could just wait on if this fails. Yeah. But it completely lost my thought. Now I'm thinking about Nando's chicken.
I always thought, it's a good point that you make, because I always said when we were setting this up, we were spending a fortune, and I could see my business account just going bum, bum, down, down, down. And I remember thinking, we ran out of money in the end. So I had literally no money. In October, I had no money in the business. The only money I had in was like the retainer clients I had, which wasn't much. And I remember thinking to myself, if all this goes tits up, it's only money. It's a lot of money, but it's only money. I've got, my ego's not that big that I'll go back to Wirral Met College and retrain as a plumber with all the kids. I'll just go and do it. I'm not asked.
That was what I was going to say. Like, there's so many people doing what we do around here. So it's, how are you unique? Yeah. Do you feel most of my stuff's come.
Do you feel like your competitors are like kids?
No. I feel like they're all agencies of kids. Probably.
I feel like there's like tons of like food bloggers and like independent content creators who'll just like go and do a food review.
It's kind of like twofold/threefold really. You've got the independent freelancers who are either doing it full time but are very specific to what they're filming, Then you've got the big agencies that are saying, we make 100k a month doing X, Y, Z, but are mostly just ran by people who've just finished uni. And then you've got people who hire internally, which I've done in the past as well. But then I launched my business with fear of all those people, like, oh, I'm not going to get any work because all of these people exist.
Yeah.
But I just kept to my game of, right, I'm just going to be myself on LinkedIn because I can't be anyone else. As soon as you meet with it in half an hour, then you know exactly who I am. But it seemed to work so far.
It has worked. It has worked, and your presence on LinkedIn's gone absolutely through the roof, I think.
I love LinkedIn, you know.
Yeah. I feel like it's something like, I've done a bit of research on this, it's something like 2% of all the user base of LinkedIn actually create content.
Yeah, it is.
It's ridiculous. It's like over 90% of LinkedIn is basically just lurkers.
They are. And you can tell because you know who's viewing you. I know who's viewing my profile.
She paid for the premium.
Oh, I do. I do pay premium.
I see you. You don't see me, but I see you.
But it's important. Like then you can reach out to that person. And be like, listen, why are you stalking me?
Yeah. Do you want to work with me?
I could do that for my clients. To be, why are you stalking them? Do you want to buy their products?
We love LinkedIn lurkers.
We do.
We love a LinkedIn lurker.
But if people just learn to stop lurking and post anything, post a picture of a plant, I don't care, just say something. Because then you see people in real life and they're like, they know everything about you. And you're like, do you do anything but spend time on LinkedIn? Why don't you ever post? And it's true, you look on their profile and it's got the standard banner.
Why do you look at my profile every day?
Yeah. I don't want to name names. There's people.
There is. I love it when you get that notification. It's like 154 people have viewed your profile in a month. Would you like to sign up to premium to view who they are? It's like, okay.
Yeah. You sure?
I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
Now, in all seriousness, there's like a massive amount of businesses on the Wirral. A massive amount. So I actually done a bit of research through my mate Claude. And Claude AI. And the Wirral Chamber of Commerce. I went in there and done it. There's 11,000 businesses on the Wirral. 11,000. That blows my fucking mind. There's enough fish
for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know
So
what I mean?
A lot of that is trades, self-employed people, and a lot of that actually is like, do you know, like people who do like affiliate marketing and content creation?
Yeah.
Not content creation, like TikTokers who just sit and like do QVC style affiliate selling and all that. And they've been now asked to declare themselves self-employed now as creators, which is mind-blowing in itself. So the 11,000 businesses, if you extrapolate that down to here on this business park where we are on the Croft in Bromley, between JD, and I know you've worked around here before, I obviously won't go into that unless you want to, between JD and the Village Hotel, which is about a mile and a half down the road, just like round the back of us there's 152 businesses. That fucking blows my mind.
Some of the big players as well.
I know.
Like
I think like within a 5-10 minute walk of this building, if I could penetrate 10% of that, 15 businesses, that changes the face of the whole concept room, which is fucking mind blowing.
Do you know what would be shocking as well is to see how many of them actually market themselves, because there's really not that many businesses that either one markets it themselves or do it well.
But I always think if I don't know who they are, I couldn't name all 152 businesses there, and literally within 5-minute walk. If I don't know who they are, they don't know who I am. So I always ask myself the question is, how do I make myself visible to them? And most of the time it's being a LinkedIn lurker.
Being a LinkedIn.
LinkedIn lurker, yeah.
That is also a good marketing technique. If you look at other people's profile, then they're like, oh, who are you?
Well, we call them knowledge gaps. So we got this Venn diagram that we use in our content strategy sessions. And it's pain points, which is the typical marketing thing. So, you know, stress, emotional pain, all that, triggers, all that. And then you've got knowledge gaps, which is what we're talking about. It's like, what don't I know, which I need to know? And then there's frequently asked questions. And if you can just create, I mean, I just had a phone call then with Pinewood. If you can get 10 knowledge gaps, 10 frequently asked questions and 10 pain points, you got 30 ideas straight away. And none of these businesses around are doing that.
No.
None of them are even
It's
thinking
not
like that.
even that hard.
Nah, it's not that hard. And you just literally, even if you just put a little shit prompt into ChatGPT. Now, I can't stand, we'll go into this in a minute, the copy and paste ChatGPT. Oh my God. Even when you edit
I
it.
think it's died a death now.
No, I don't. I don't. I think it's getting worse.
Do you mean the prompts
So
are
on
getting
LinkedIn,
worse?
right?
Do you know what I can't stand, just before we move on? AI posters, which I know, like builders, bars, whoever, they haven't got a lot of money. They're just trying to get through, but the AI posters need to stop, man. I
mean,
can't.
it's when you go, it's not this, it's that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about marketing. It's about marketing yourself right. And it's like, come on. When it starts off with a big adjective word, explore the world of C-Bank marketing. Discover a new way to do content creation.
Yeah.
Like them big adjectives.
It's just like the cadence of the whole
cadence of it, yeah. And
paragraph.
You know, even when people edit it, I'm going to get rid of the M dashes, I'm going to get rid of the words and like the this and that.
The Oxford comma.
You know that it's copy and pasted, even when it's edited. It's not. And then the worst one, going on a bit of a rant here, the worst one is when you read it as a script on a video.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking it's not going to be.
Yeah. It just
Oh my
doesn't
goodness
work.
me. Oh my
I
God.
think use it for ideas.
So I've got
but
2% of LinkedIn that actually fucking create content. I'd say probably nearly fucking 100% of that 2% is fucking copy and pasting.
99.9%.
So it's not actually that hard for all these businesses maybe watching this. It's not actually that hard to fucking stand out on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly.
So just be yourself.
People wonder how Stevie B's that famous. It's
I
just
said this to
because.
clients, right, Georgia. Honestly, I would rather you write some shit piece of content with loads of mistakes in, loads of spelling errors, but be authentically you.
Yeah. Have you heard now people are like purposely putting mistakes in their content?
Yeah.
So that people don't think it's ChatGPT.
That is interesting, that. That is interesting.
It's bizarre. What are we doing to ourselves? We're not going to have brain cells
taking
left.
the 5-10 minutes to write a caption rather than just numbing yourself down to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever.
Exactly.
It's like, it just makes such a massive difference. It's such a massive difference. And I just know, like, and it's, I get why people do it because it's just so time efficient.
It's got its uses, but not that, I don't think.
I mean, it's not there in terms of writing.
No.
Like what me and you can articulate on this podcast, that like no matter what prompt you put into it, it can't articulate what we're talking about.
No, exactly.
I just don't think it could. And someone said to me once, well, not long ago, they said, do you think like AI will take over the content game? And I'm like, no, because the value of you being on this podcast is you being in the room having a conversation with me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You can't replicate people, really.
Nah, like if I was to message you saying, Georgia, I want to do a podcast, but all I need from you is to send me a 10-second voice clip so I can like synchronize your voice to a deep fake video.
Oh, it winds me up
Like what kind of connection break is that? Like, I don't know.
Exactly. I think if I saw somebody who had AI'd like 20 videos of themselves, I would not watch it. I couldn't.
No.
I couldn't bear it, to be honest.
And again, I'd rather see someone like do a blooper video and just mess up loads and just you know, I'd rather see that and be real.
Yeah. I think AI's got a big place in the marketing sector, but I think it's more so like deep research, analytics, ideas, making your video edits quicker.
I've programmed Claude now where every week on a Friday it'll scrape all my best performing posts, all my competitors' best performing posts. It'll scrape YouTube for content ideas, thumbnail ideas, all that stuff. And it gives me a report every Friday and drops a task list into a Trello board. That stuff is fucking awesome for me because I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
No.
Do you use them, do you find, every week as well?
Yeah. So the thumbnail ideas are fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And like it'll give me ideas for what like tags to use and what people are searching for on in Wirral, for example, when it comes to like YouTube searches and stuff like that. It's great. And I love it.
Yeah.
And that saves me a ton of time. Now, ordinarily you'd hire like a VA or something to do that for you. But I don't need a VA, so technically a VA is out of work now. Or a video editor's out of work because I'm using that stuff.
Are they though?
But with that said, if you view a post of mine on LinkedIn, well, that's a good question. I don't know, are they? I suppose it frees someone up. Like, if I can use AI to come up with all my ideas, all my competitor research, all that kind of stuff, great. Now, technically, a video editor could come in and they'll be able to do double the work in half the amount of time. It's not completely erasing it.
Yeah.
Erasing it.
I think there's always going to be that need, because for me, like, any business owner could do all of their marketing research and everything using AI. But then when it comes to creating that content, they're just going to get pure shit, as you know.
Yeah. Do you find that it's like doing the thing? It's like I can do all the pretty stuff with AI now, but actually doing the thing. So it's like
Exactly.
they don't want help. With our clients now, it's like I don't need help coming up with ideas and this and that. I just need you to do it for me. Just do it for me.
That's all people want. They just want to know that it's all handled. I have that with a lot of people as well. Like, they just want to know that they can leave all the marketing and it's all aligned with their messaging, their brand, and they're not having to like check on some AI agent to see if it's had a wobble, or they're not having to see if somebody's got 6 fingers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you hear about that thing where ChatGPT like got like millions of people like just leaving it because it was like bias or something?
No.
So millions of people have like cancelled the ChatGPT subscription because it was like giving out like biased messages. So you'd ask it one thing and so people were like getting sued and stuff, and like it was giving both sides of the argument the same thing. So let's say I was suing you for something and I put in all my evidence and be like, yeah, you've got a great case, but then you'd put your side of it in and it'd tell you, yeah, you've got a great case. So it was coming up conflicting.
The thing with AI is it thinks you are the best thing.
Yeah, it's a people
Since
pleaser.
sliced bread is a people pleaser, even more so than me. It's really irritating. How dare someone be better at people pleasing than me?
Yeah. I think it's a common issue that like business owners like have, because when you first get into it, it's like you'll take money off anyone who'll pay you, basically. Like, I need to make money, quick,
please.
Please give me money.
Yeah.
So as a result, you try and like overcompensate and over-deliver for people.
Yeah.
And you'll go above and beyond doing loads of revisions on every piece of work, and that's what we were finding.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get to a point where you like can be a bit more choosy.
Yeah. I think the beauty of it as well, though, is that you can, if it's your own business, you can pie off those people who are, it's not quite right, it's not aligned.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep doing it forever.
Yeah.
I did make myself that promise when I started a business. And so far, nobody's really pissed me off that much. So
Yeah.
we carry on.
I think in 6 years we've had like maybe 2 or 3 that haven't really been the right fit.
Yeah.
That I was a bit disappointed in. And one thing I'm actually really proud of with what we've done is no one can ever say, even if they've not been the right fit, no one can ever say that we fucked them over.
Yeah.
We've always done what we've said we're going to do, no matter what. Even if it's meant having like a bit of a rough conversation.
Yeah.
Finishing a relationship, so that's a good thing.
You just want to work with good people, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the be all and end all.
Yeah. It's interesting though, like, I mean, being in it for so long and being in content for so long, I mean, I was doing fitness in my 20s. I only started doing content sort of when I'm 39 now, so I'm probably 9 or 10 years. But saying that, I learned all the sales and marketing stuff through being in other businesses. And it is mad how far it's come. I mean, even photography, people think it's like boring photography, like, because everyone's got a fucking good camera on the mobile phone now, and everyone can just do content from the mobile phone.
It really winds me up, the amount of people.
It's like, why would you go and buy a big fucking lens and a camera because you got the iPhone, which is equal? No, it's not.
No. Well, let's have a little iPhone photo battle then, shall we? Or
yeah, exactly.
It is bad, but I think as a content creator, like, naturally, even if you go on a walk in a frigging forest, I'll be looking around and I'm like, oh, I would photograph that with ISO. My f-stop would be this. I'd probably make sure that is in the foreground. It's just not normal. Or even like if I'm having a conversation, a meeting, I'm sitting there thinking, right, if this was an interview that I'm filming, how would I film it? What angle would it be? But I think that's just like built in me now to be doing that all the time.
I love that though because you come up with like, your brain will be just like a box of ideas anyway.
Yeah, it's like an overdrive constantly.
Yeah.
And then if I'm driving on the road, God help me, when I'm on the motorway, all I do is look at vans and lorries and judge their like signage. I'm like, what am I doing? Just give yourself a break. Sing to your songs. Carry on.
So do you create logos and stuff now?
No, I've kind of whistled my services down. So I just really market for people now, but I market with high quality content. So people will either use me for social media, but in that they get high quality content, copywriting, analytics, ideas, access to my never-ending brain, all that good stuff. And then other people come to me for like what I call a quartermaster package, because I'm very nautical in this brand, you know,
Nice.
which is essentially like I am their marketing manager, but external. So they still get all the content and everything, but it might be like email campaigns, a lot of research, a lot of outreach, more like specialist support, which is premium compared to the other packages, but it comes with that delivery of service as well. But a lot of what I do marketing wise is driven by content, because I'm very content first.
I'm looking for a logo creator if you know one.
I can create logo. I can pretty much do anything. I've not made logos in a while.
Anything within the Adobe Creative Cloud.
Yeah, anything. That is...
Georgia, I'm offering you work here. I've been lurking on your LinkedIn for ages.
I'm just like busy. No, I'll create a logo if you want.
Yeah.
They're quite fun.
I'm going to pass you some work.
Okay.
I need it. I need to take my branding to the next level. One thing we're actually quite weak on is branding. We need to get better.
Isn't it weird? I find this with quite a few people who do like similar things to us, but branding your own business is really difficult.
Yeah.
Because you really overthink it. Yeah. It's like if it was for a client, if I said to you, okay, here's a project and you're going to rebrand the content room, then you'd fly. But because it's yourself, you're second guessing every decision. Sometimes it takes like an external person to be like, okay, this is how you should do it, because they see you in a different way.
It's true. It's definitely true. One thing
I'll rebrand you.
I try and put that onto clients as well. It's like, sometimes I say to clients, less is more, especially with like podcasting. It's like, you don't need all the flashy things coming in, and you don't need the fancy subscribe button and everything. It's just you don't need the tick thing going across the bottom. It's like, just have the podcast. It's just plain like some less is more. Yeah. Again, without mentioning any names, I had someone message me saying, can I critique their podcast? They were doing it with someone else. And I said, yeah, of course. And I would never slag anyone off in public. But there was definitely things in there which I was like, right, that needs changing, that needs changing, that needs changing. And I made a list of about 12 things which were just unnecessary to have. And what I realised was, whoever it was that was doing this podcast had just threw these things in because they were like things
to say. Just
to be
for the sake of it.
Just for the sake of it. Like, they had like a 3-minute intro video. It's like, why is that there?
No.
Or they had like this, flashy things like popping up off the screen. I'm like, it's just distracting from the content.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer that less is more, and also that silence is powerful. So even in like, I always say to my clients, brand is everything from like your marketing, of course, but like the staff in a room, like in a meeting, if you're spiraling and over talking on everything, just say less, have a sit, let them make their mind up and go from there. But it's the same with content. Less is more. You don't need to have like 5 calls to actions. You don't need to have X, Y, Z. Nobody knows what to do.
Yeah.
They just want to consume the content.
Yeah. If someone's taking an hour out of time to consume a podcast or do some whatever, it's so true. Like, you've got to respect people's time, because if they're putting attention onto your stuff, it's like, in the nicest possible way, get to the fucking point. Yeah. Like, don't beat around the bush. Like, get to the value. Like
start with that, actually, please.
Give them.
Can't be arsed waiting half an hour.
Yeah. Like, if you're doing a 3-minute intro video with nothing, which is saying nothing, it's just music. Yeah. It's like, why?
Yeah. Or people have got it in their head, I find, when you're doing like a company video, no, I need to say X, Y, and Z. I'm like, well, nobody actually cares about X, Y, and Z. I'm sorry, but they don't. You need, here's the key point that you're trying to make that first, and then we'll pad it out and put everything in. Put the meat in.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about was the power of personal branding as opposed to business branding. Because we work with like business to business stuff, and a lot of the business owners we work with are quite scared of promoting personal brands within their business because they're scared their talent is going to get cherry picked from them by bigger companies or whatever, which is always a possibility, but that's always happened. Headhunting's always happened.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got a team of, say, 10 people and you create great personal brands of all them people, and they become a leverage to the business in terms of their audience. They're big on LinkedIn, they're big on Instagram, and they're part of your business. I argue that that's a great thing for the business.
I honestly
but
think
business owners are actually quite scared of that because they're scared they're going to lose the staff.
Yeah, I've had it in the past with myself, but I've always built my personal brand. But I personally think that businesses should incentivise their employees posting more on LinkedIn, because all that is going to do is build the business reputation, the business branding, everything, and people are shouting about your business, including your own staff, and it makes them feel valued and rewarded as well.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be headhunted constantly. I mean, I've had, so probably in 10 years, I've had a couple of messages on LinkedIn like, would you ever do this?
Yeah.
But at that time, I've been like, well, no, I'm quite happy doing this. That's why I'm so happy shouting about it.
I agree. It's one of them as well where, like, if your culture's right and everything, great. But also, people just leave businesses anyway. Like, people don't stay in the same job all their life.
Exactly. Like, but if you're worried so much that somebody posting on LinkedIn is going to get them a message and they're going to leave your business, sort your culture out first.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah. It's probably something to look at yourself.
Yeah.
All you LinkedIn likers.
Orcus. I know
We're calling out all the LinkedIn likers
here.
here.
We are. I've got my list in my pocket.
It is true though. Like, I mean, we've done like, so that company I mentioned before with the 2 grand stuff, they obviously were doing over 10 million in sales. Big contracts with like Tesco, Asda, all the big supermarkets. And they, when we sat down on the strategy with them, like they didn't necessarily need sales because they were in big contracts for long periods of time, like 5-10 year contracts. Now, if sales happened as a byproduct of the content, great, like no issues there. But what their idea was to like essentially hire the best staff into the business and become the number one company in that thing in the UK, essentially. Now, they had 3 depots across the UK, so they had a big network of staff anyway. But what they wanted to do was like when they had done apprenticeship drives and stuff like that, they wanted all the best people to come to them. So the content we'd done was like employee advocacy, where it was like promoting how great a culture was inside the business.
Yeah.
Now, if it's not a great culture, you'll quickly get found out, especially if you're putting all over social.
Yeah.
And if you've got unhappy staff and they're leaving all the time, then it's probably something for you to look at.
Yeah.
And have the confidence. A lot of these businesses are great as well. I mean, a lot of the businesses that we work with are superb, but they just don't share it. I mean, you know, we always say we need to make content worth sharing.
Yeah.
But is your business worth sharing? Like, and a lot of the time it is, but they're not shouting about it and they don't know where to start.
And I think there's small things as well that a business might not think is shareable or newsworthy. And I'm not saying it's newsworthy, but it's all about sharing your story as a business. And the more you can do those things that, like, you don't want to be going on LinkedIn and just saying buy this, buy this, buy this. Yeah. You need people to buy you, like the people behind the business, 100%. Before they're going to do anything.
100%. I mean, imagine me and you teamed up and let's say we hired a video editor to do some bits for us. Essentially, it's like saying we don't want that video editor to be public. We want him to be in the room, just quiet. But what's that doing for that guy, like that video editor? It's nothing. Like nothing. But if they're getting themselves out there and putting themselves out there, yes, they might open themselves up to new work. But at the end of the day, like, I want that video editor, whoever it is, to be better than what we are. I want them to be a better content creator than me, essentially. And if that benefits the business over like a 2-3 year period, fantastic. And I'm fully aware that at some point that video editor will probably move on.
Yeah.
And like I accept that as a business owner. But it's my job to nurture more talent coming through.
Yeah. So I think people will move on.
A mentoring role, don't you?
Yeah. People will move on all the time. But if you've helped them on that ladder and you've pulled them up, lo and behold, they'll be up that ladder way quicker than we are. Yeah. But then they pull you up as well. And there's always enough work to go around. Or
100%.
if you can make them an advocate of your brand, then that's the best thing to do.
It is a weird one as well with content creation because everyone's getting an iPhone in the pocket.
Yeah.
It's that thing. It's so weird. My
nephew can do that for a $5.
Yeah, my 19-year-old niece is all right on TikTok. Yeah. She knows how to do a few videos. I'll get her to do one. Okay, go on then.
I'm not even on TikTok, you know.
Oh, it's crazy.
Useless.
But TikTok's not our main platform, but it it's going to have more of a focus this year because I don't know, they're kind of implementing a one-stop shop for everything essentially. So essentially, what they're going to try and do is, if you've got a Shopify store or a CRM with a shopping where you sell merch or whatever,
TikTok.
just do it all on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they're offering like subscriptions, memberships, fucking all sorts. So essentially, just do it all within the app, and it's just gonna be fucking massive. So from free content all the way to your highest paid memberships or packages are all going to be housed within the app itself.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
It is crazy.
That is nuts, yeah.
It's just people need simplicity, don't they?
Yeah, people are making fortunes. People are hiring rooms like this, like me and you have got, to basically ship TikTok content.
Yeah.
So I feel
wild,
I feel like the high street, if you go to Beckenham High Street or New Brighton High Street, it's gone in the form that it currently is.
Yeah.
But I think what people end up doing is becoming like content creators.
Yeah.
And hiring them sorts of
Maybe
spaces.
that's what I should have done, because when I was in uni, me and my mates always used to walk through the tube station and there'd be some fella selling strawberries, like 4 strawberries for £1. And because I was always gobby, my mates would be like, you'd do that one day. And I could have just translated that into selling on TikTok. Maybe when I go back on there, that's what I'll do. Start being one of them holding up the clothes. Buy this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah. Becky came off maternity leave and obviously she didn't go back to work after that. Long story short. So she started doing a bit on TikTok. She doesn't make a great amount of money, but she doesn't put that much effort into it.
Yeah.
But we're getting so much fucking merch delivered to our house that she's just getting offered. Like, you can just have this merch, promote it, do a video for us for free. And we just get all this merch in the house.
Clutter everywhere.
Fucking hell. Jesus, tonight, yeah.
There's no need.
Honestly, it's massive.
Yeah.
But there's people in there making thousands. So I've got a feeling that, like, over the course of next year or two, I'll start to end up getting, like, TikTokers and, QVC style merchandise sellers booking days in here and they just sitting here for a day and just sell.
Yeah. I think it comes back to that, like, theme of there's enough work for everyone. Like me, I'm not personally ever probably going to touch TikTok. My platforms that I stick to are LinkedIn and Instagram, because I think there's plenty of people doing that. I don't even touch Instagram that much. It's more LinkedIn because for me, my clients are all like B2B kind of medium to large businesses in like manufacturing, very different industries. I promised myself, like, I love, like, I'm not going to be filming aesthetics because there's girls who are into aesthetics that would like to film that. I don't know anything about it.
I think that's where you do get the like the sort of the girls with the mobile phones just doing that content because it is just something you can just turn up. Yeah. Do.
I take the piss out myself on LinkedIn by saying, like, I'm a high-vis girly, because I am. I'm pretty much always in a high-vis with safety boots on, doing a site induction because I'm filming in these different places. But for me, like, I've probably done every type of shoot ever, to be honest. But I find the ones that are the most challenging, that's what keeps my creativity going.
I love it.
I know I get bored otherwise because I'm too scatty.
I always think, like, what's trending and how can I do the opposite? Yeah. And that's kind of counterintuitive to a lot of people. The marketing that I like is counterintuitive. I don't know why. I just gravitate towards it. So it's like all these like boring subject matters. So all these new regulations are coming about tax and all these new business regulations and stuff. And all these like business mentors are talking about it. And there's something called the Renters' Rights Act for estate agents, for landlords that have. So if you rent a house, for example, a landlord can't kick you out and stuff like that. And all these estate agents and property developers that we're working with are talking about this Renters' Rights Act. It's fucking boring. It's just boring. And no offence to all these, LinkedIn workers out there. It's one of them where, like, a lot of the time the business subject matter is quite boring to the average person. So how can you make that a bit more engaging? And actually,
how do you translate it?
And it's counterintuitive. It's like, if everyone's talking about the Renters' Rights Act, for example, talk about fucking something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Or an alternative view on the Renters' Rights Act.
Yeah.
And give someone, like, it's almost like a pattern interrupt of like, oh, it's not just the same fucking estate agent or the same fucking property developer or landlord or content creator talking about this fucking thing.
Yeah. And things like that as well, that it's talked about in the most daunting way. And all the content that we tend to consume, like I banned myself watching the news from COVID. I don't watch it anymore. I get a bit depressed. So I'm not allowed to watch the news. It's like a thing in our house. He knows if I've been watching the news because I start getting sad. But it's the same with content. If it feels like doom and gloom and there's a lot of businesses and we're all under regulations, but if then people are just consuming content about more regulation, you're not going to pay attention. You're just going to switch it off and look for silly videos of dogs or whatever.
Completely. And it's set up like that now as well.
Yeah.
The whole platforms are just like, if you search puppy content, you're going to see more puppy content. Like, that's it. It knows.
It does. It knows.
Well, TikTok was a weird thing, and again, it's something I talk about quite often. When they brought the For You page out, it changed social media in a way, because essentially what they said at that point was, we think that we can create a feed that you're more interested in than what you can create yourself by following people. So the follow button became a bit devalued. So what you see on social now, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, is essentially things that it thinks you're interested in, not necessarily people you follow. So the value of the follow button became less.
People are like, they don't want to give out likes anymore. And it takes a lot to explain this to my clients, because I think there's still like a change in mindset.
Well, it's like you just said, it's a trust.
It is
trust. It's a trust. Like, you watch the news and it's all doom and gloom. You lose a bit of trust for it. So when people are putting out so much content and the volume of content is going, it's so much, it just loses trust. Like, people don't know what to trust. Yeah. Like, when we were young, I'm 7 years older than you, but when we were young, a lot of time. But when we were young, like, going and taking your kids for like the flu jabs was like a normal thing. Yeah. Like the normal thing. Now, parents are shitting themselves because of the fucking COVID jab. And it's all just fear-mongered. Yeah. And people just don't know what to trust.
No, exactly.
And like, I've not got a view on the COVID jab at all. Or religion or politics or any other polarising topic.
I am neutral.
I am neutral in all aspects, yeah. But it's one of them where like people have just lost a massive amount of trust. Yeah. So people aren't necessarily going to buy straight away from Instagram, or they're not going to buy straight away from fucking.
And everything's a bloody subscribe now. I buy things from like Instagram shops or whatever, and I've not realised that I've subscribed. And then they just keep turning up every month, but they don't have like a proper support line. So then you're just paying for a frigging direct debit for mushroom gummies or whatever.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
Stuck in all of them. I don't even have them. They're just there, arriving every week.
That is so funny. It's one of them, I think, where like, I don't know, like you've just, like, it's a hard sell for people like me and you, because you say, right, you're going to post content 4, 5, 6 times a week, and nothing will probably happen. No. And then you're going to do it again, and nothing will probably happen. And you're going to do that for 6 months, and you might get a little bit of stuff happening. And then after 12 months, you might get a little bit more stuff happening. Yeah. It's like, fuck, I've got to keep doing that for so long. Well, yeah, because everything's just noise now until you become the ideal client. Yeah. And when you do become the ideal clients, like, a good example is what you said about puppies. Like, if all of a sudden you're not in the market to buy puppies, and then over time your kids grow up a little bit and it's like, I really want a puppy. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm going to start looking for a puppy. Yeah. All of a sudden, all you're seeing is puppy content. Yeah, exactly. It's building that brand authority as well, isn't it? I've said this to like clients that do come to me with social media. I was like, I will do whatever I can to always be speaking to your ideal client and to get you sales. However, you're not going to post one video and you're going to get 10 people buying what you're offering straight away. Yeah. And they'll say that to me. They're like, well, we've been, working together for a few months now. I can't say that we've had tons of sales, but everyone is saying to me, oh, I'm seeing you all over socials. I've been seeing your videos and aren't you doing well? You're so consistent with everything. I'm like, well, that's the brand authority that you're building. And then over time, say I work with a golf coach, over time, when it comes to that person then getting into golf and he's been making those videos for ages, then it's going to be, oh, I'm going to go to him because he's class. Look how many videos he does. Yeah. Yeah. And he's basically answered any possible thing that you could come up with to not do the thing. He's answered it all in the content anyway. Exactly. So, yeah. So, given how much it's evolved over time, from the old school photography, headshots
In
and
the
all
dark room.
that. Yeah, I remember when I first got into it, it was like every photographer would just be like, yeah, I do headshots or wedding photography. That'd be like the only thing.
Yeah.
In terms of video, I mean, video's obviously gone massive, and I suppose it's always been massive, but not in the form it is now. Mm-hmm. I mean, back when I started, there wasn't even like short form video. It was literally just
No. The evolution's been drastic, hasn't it?
Yeah, I remember Instagram just being photos. There wasn't even a video function on it. And it's been mad to see. So people,
I managed. So a couple of jobs ago, I was in this place for 9 years, and I managed a media team, and we did loads of work for loads of different clients, from like Tommy Hilfiger to Diageo, loads of different people. We at that time, and I'm only talking about 6 or 7 years ago, launched a social media package to do it for businesses, and nobody really went for it. We were like a professional media company offering this, and nobody was interested because it wasn't there.
Wow.
And now people bite your hands off for social media management.
You do.
And it's just a short amount of time that evolution's gone.
It's a mad thing. So I always ask people, like, what is their big idea? And I'm obsessed with ideas. I don't know if you've ever seen the film Jerry Maguire.
No.
So Jerry Maguire,
Heard the name.
it was brought out in about 1995, I'm going to say. Tom Cruise in it. And he plays this like sports agent to this American footballer. It's a bit of a rom-com. It's one of my favourite ever films. And it's like the famous scene, show me the money, show me the money. And there's a scene in the film at the start where he's like really fed up and pissed off with all the sleazy sales agents, and they're all just in it to make money. So he goes home one day and he's like, I'm going to write a mission statement. And it's my favourite scene because he stays up all night and he drinks his coffee and he's hammering out this 20-page mission statement on his laptop. And he goes in the next day and he thinks he's going to revolutionise the whole industry. And he makes this massive speech in front of everyone. And everyone stops and is like listening to him, and everyone just carries on. Apart from one person who ends up to be his like girlfriend in it. And when we had our second baby, like he didn't sleep very well, and I was up one night and I was just looking at my laptop and I was like, I didn't really know what direction I was going to take the content room, and I was kind of between the old place and this place, and I was tired and I was fucking pissed off with everything, and I was like, right, I'm just going to brain dump everything into a Google Doc, Jerry Maguire style. And I did, and I literally done it for like 3-4 days of just brain dumping everything into this Google Doc, my thoughts, processes, frameworks, everything. And the common denominator between everyone that we worked with was big ideas. Everyone had big ideas. The bigger the idea, the bigger the results. The bigger, and it was like, and what I realised was everyone has big ideas. Everyone, whether you're fucking someone starting a side hustle on the side, whether you're someone with a big business. And I was like, I started watching episodes of Dragon's Den and stuff like that, and like they go on and pitch the big ideas, and some of them, and it got me thinking, like, why do some big ideas really take off and make millions and millions and millions, and other ideas just kind of like fall by the wayside?
Yeah.
And it was always stuff like the course in like the, do you know, like the fucking rigmarole of the 9 to 5, or you got the mum telling them that, you know, it's not going to work out, so you've got to play it safe in your job, or, you know, don't want to take the financial risk. It was always something like that. And I believe that, you know, I've been through it. Like, it doesn't come without sleepless nights and it's stress and all that. And it's like, everyone can create the big idea if they want to.
Yeah.
So I suppose the question off the back of that is, for Georgia Terry now, Seabank, what's the big idea?
To be honest, I think Seabank is my big idea. Like, that has been festering away for about 10 years.
How long did it take for you to take the plunge on it?
Well, it was kind of forced. Like, I was working remotely on maternity, and then it was, you have to return to office on this day. We sat and worked through the finances, and we were like, this isn't fucking worth it. Like, why am I going to kill myself? And then it was, it felt like the worst time, but also the best time to do it. So, like,
So you went straight off maternity to Seabank?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I only took like 3 months maternity, and then I was working full time but remotely. But
That's
it was when I
that's
was going
impressive, though.
back to the office.
That's quite impressive.
And I was 5 weeks off a C-section filming on site. And I don't know what's wrong with me in the head, to be honest. But
Why do we actively choose these hard things?
I don't know. I just like the challenge. It kept me busy.
They do say like a lot of business owners are ADHD because, I mean, I've never had a diagnosis, and apparently only 3 to 4% of adults are ADHD. But I think
it's just creative
it's like,
brains, to be honest.
why do we constantly just choose hard stuff?
Yeah, I finished. I handed my notice, worked my notice period, finished on the Friday, launched the business on the Monday, and like I sold my car and everything. We had worked out what could be the bare minimum. I was saying to my mates, like, listen, if this doesn't go well, would you help us feed the kids for the next few months? Like, I genuinely just didn't think it was gonna work. Like, I knew I had the knowledge and the ideas, but it was just my heart saying this is gonna fail. But it's not.
I don't believe in imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
I don't think it's an actual syndrome. But was it that feeling of imposter syndrome?
Absolutely. And I think it's also just like people would tell you for years when you're working with different people, oh, it's hard being a business owner, you know, you probably couldn't do it because it's a lot of pressure. But I've learned in hindsight, people probably say that because they want to keep you under their radar and they want to utilise your talents.
Yeah.
Whereas when you set your wings free, then that's when you really shine. And it's also doing everything that you're passionate about. Like you say, like, you mostly do photography? I'm like, well, no, I'm not really passionate about that at the moment, so I'm doing marketing. But then I know that, like, this isn't the long game for me for 15, 20 years, whatever.
It is interesting you saying that, because I seen your stuff in Ireland a few weeks back, and I love the idea of just going into the mountains and just taking photos and being creative and just thinking about that stuff and going to the seaside.
I need that.
That stuff is
every
fucking
now
amazing,
and again.
but it doesn't run your business.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But that energy of just getting out there in the fresh seaside and the fresh countryside and just taking great photos and making great videos, it's just something so therapeutic about that.
Yeah, it brings it back to me, to all the practical elements of photography.
In the raw thing of being creative, that's what it is.
Yeah. And especially in this industry, like, I found working full time for a lot of people and delivering work for like video clients in the past, you can become like a little keyboard monkey, and people just say, no, I want that there, and you're literally just there on Premiere Pro to move the frigging buttons around. Yeah. Whereas now, because it's my own business, you've got the freedom to say, actually, it should be done like this, and this is why, and then you do it in that way. Or you can think, oh, I'm going to whack this type of shot in there and see how well it goes.
Yeah, it's cool. That's cool.
It's cool different, take. But
Rick Rubin talks about that in the Creative
changes.
Act. It's like in the Creative Act, he says, creativity is not for anyone else; it's for you.
Yeah.
And it's like you're creating for you. You're making something that you like to create. And it's definitely, I'm going to definitely make a concerted effort to do more stuff like that. Like go to the west coast of Ireland and just get in the countryside and just do cool stuff. Going on a hike somewhere, or go into somewhere that you wouldn't usually go and just make something for me. Yeah. Because you get so, like you say, you know, you get so tied up in moving buttons around on Premiere Pro and editing podcasts and doing things that follow the algorithm. It's like, just make something where it's not about getting views or not about...
Yeah, don't even think about the algorithm.
It's not about getting views, it's not about getting attention. It's just something that you're creatively into. Yeah. And I love that. I love that element of it.
There was a moment in Ireland, actually, we were walking because we went to see my sister-in-law, and she does marketing in Ireland, so she knows like everywhere, everyone. But there was this moment we were walking down the road and this big light beamed through the mountains. But as a photographer, I was like, and then I was just there for like 15 minutes, like, how do I take this picture? Yeah. But it's that creativity you need, because when you are like filming or photographing for corporate businesses, it takes away that, because a lot of the time you turn up to film an interview and you're in a meeting room and you're trying to make it work, and there's a bin and there's a table and that's all you've got to work with. So it's nice to go back to like nature and be like, okay, how am I gonna, that's magnificent, how am I gonna get that on camera?
When you're working within brand guidelines, by definition that is not creative.
No,
by definition.
Exactly.
You can be creative within that framework.
Yeah.
But the definition of a framework is not creative.
Yeah, I do it a lot now for clients. I'll say, like, if I'm taking over the marketing, if you've got brand guidelines, and they'll send me like the most stringent. The logo has to be this everywhere.
The
It
fonts
has
is this, the brand,
you
the
must
hex
say
code
with
is
that.
this.
I'm like, you need to just be flexible with that, because that would have worked 20 years ago. But now, when everything looks different constantly, it can. Do you know one of my favourite brands probably is Tesco. Tesco and M&S. I think they nail their branding.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for another time.
In what sense?
I just think visually, like, it's really. I mean, everyone will talk about like social media. Aldi's like marketing team, they're all, because it's like young, fresh, and they'll say whatever. But I think like visually, M&S branding's always classic. Their photography, video, always classic. Tesco, like they use like text and icons in really specific ways that I think it's quite iconic as well, even though it's different level to M&S.
Yeah, there's a few brands like that I think about. I hadn't thought about it like that, but I might do a bit of research into that, because that's interesting. I mean, I always thought that about Red Bull, actually. Red Bull, like...
I'm sponsored by Red Bull.
Oh, yeah?
Not officially, but I have at least 2 before every shoot. Just,
nice.
Really get you...
I had to quit the old cans of Monster and Red Bull. Yeah, it's anxiety in a can.
Yeah, it is. Truly. But I currently have 2 very young kids, and running a busy business is like, I feel like survival mode.
Yeah, if there's
constantly.
any executives from Red Bull out there, like lurking on LinkedIn, get in touch with us.
Yeah. But not the Red Bull F1 team, because I don't like them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a McLaren gal.
Yeah. Anyone from McLaren? Go
anyone. But that's like, for me,
if you
just
want
saying that.
So do you want to talk about counterintuitive marketing?
Go on.
Where like if everyone's doing this thing, do that thing, and like just doing the extra. There was a funny story about Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola are in theory the only beverage company in the world that could be in anywhere. It could be in a 5-star Michelin restaurant, and it could be in a fucking hot dog stand outside.
Yeah.
It's acceptable. It's probably the only drink in the world that's acceptable to be in any place. Yeah, so you could get Coke. So if we started a soft drink company and we wanted to compete with Coca-Cola, the logical brain says, what would the logical brain say to you?
It's going to have to be a healthy version of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, so we've got to make it healthier, we've got to make it tastier, we've got to make the branding on the can better, we've got to give more liquid in the can, we've got to make it taste better. Or that's the logical way of thinking about it, right? So who's the biggest competitor to Coke in the world?
I feel like Coca-Cola own a lot of them, don't they?
They do.
So like, you're going to go with like Fanta and everything, but like Red Bull, Monster, but then you've also got all these upcoming ones like Poppy and all the trendy influencer
So
cans.
in the what is it? The blind taste tests, they give this beverage the biggest competitor. For context, the biggest competitor to Coca-Cola is Red Bull. They make enough profit every year to power an F1 team, do all these crazy stunts, football teams, all the rest of it. And interestingly, Red Bull, before Red Bull came out, they put it into blind taste tests. So this wasn't like people's opinion; it was actual studied. People said they would never drink it because it tastes like absolute piss. Which, if you think about it, it does.
It does. Yeah.
It's not as good. It doesn't look as visually pleasing. Yeah. It's in a long can. It's a bit awkward to sip because it's a small lid.
Silver and blue.
Yeah, silver and blue doesn't really work. And it, by definition, people said it was awful to taste. And it looks worse. It looks like piss. It looks like that weird orangey colour. So all the logical things about how to compete with Coca-Cola, Red Bull have kind of gone against. And that's like the counterintuitive marketing thing that I think is like works. And the reason why they actually study this, and the reason why Red Bull, it works really well, is because...
Gives you wings.
This is it. It makes you feel high.
Yeah.
It gives you a high. And when people taste like medicine, that medicinal taste of like, oh, it's a bit sour, that medicine.
Makes you feel better.
It makes you feel better.
Yeah.
They associate medicinal taste with
Psychologically feeling better.
Psychologically feeling better. So if you give baby Calpol, it's like that little tangy taste, but it makes them feel better.
Yeah.
So when people have Red Bull, it's like, oh, I've got 2 kids, I'm really tired. It's probably not you probably don't even like Red Bull, really.
Yeah.
It's just...
Like, it's not a good health decision.
No, it's not. Definitely.
At all.
I mean, I done it with Monster. I had to quit because I was just like, I was getting heartburn.
Yeah.
And the kids were driving me fucking bonkers.
Yeah. It's either Red Bull or iced coffees.
But that's the kind of marketing I love, because it kind of goes against all logical thinking. And a lot of these businesses we work with are very logical. It's like, we have to have the right brand guideline, we have to have the colour, the fonts, and this and that. It's like, I get it, but when everyone else is doing this thing, do the opposite. Yeah. Be that creative thing. Like,
I think the lesson as well, like we were saying before about the 11,000 businesses on the Wirral and not everyone advertises, it always comes back to me like it's a really powerful thing that Coca-Cola, Red Bull, Mackey's, they put so much money into marketing and they absolutely don't need to. So if these big brands are doing it, why aren't they doing it? I mean, I probably pissed myself off watching this back, because I always hate it when a lot of marketers always online speak about big, powerful brands. And I think, if I'm a business owner sitting there, how can I relate my business to Coca-Cola? Like, tell me about some B2B marketing campaign that went really well. But it is the case that if Mackey's and Red Bull are marketing, then people should be as well.
100%. Yeah.
Or just bloody post on LinkedIn, that's all we ask.
Don't
be
be
like 2%. Lurkers.
It's one of them things, I think, where like we could probably talk about this all day, and it's probably enough room for another podcast, to be fair, which I'm going to hold out for that. I think it's one of them, like, when all budgets are getting cut in your business, you got to like be tight with money, like the way the world is at the moment. Marketing seems to be the first thing that gets cut, and it never really makes sense to me. It never makes sense to me. Does not make sense to me.
No.
Marketing should be the thing we should be planning more stuff into.
Yeah.
Maybe that's bias on my side because we do marketing, but it's one of them.
Yeah, but it's good for us, because when they get rid of the marketing scene, they hire us.
Yeah.
We're there,
all
waiting.
on LinkedIn, like, us hiring people.
Red Bull in hand.
So for anyone who wants to come into contact with Seabank Marketing, or maybe get some content strategy, or do some bits with Georgia, Terry, not Flynn, where's the best place they can find you?
LinkedIn, man. That's told you.
You know, you've been lurking on LinkedIn for a while, but get in touch, send a DM. I'll put all the links around this video anyway. I really appreciate it.
Or cbankmarketing.co.uk.
Love it.
Pop the links in.
Love it. I'm going to get George to create me a logo.
I've got 2 different audiences, actually. So if you come to me on LinkedIn, you get Business G, who's very much like, this is what you need to do to build brand authority. And then you follow me on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm a mum surviving business life. So depending on which one you want, which version of G you want, choose your platform.
I want it all. I'll put all the links around this video anyway. This is definitely the first podcast we've done, but definitely not going to be the last. And hopefully we'll do some collaborative stuff over the next months and weeks and
get
all that
working
kind
on your
of stuff.
logo.
Yeah. I appreciate your time. Thanks very much. Anything else before we finish? Before we wrap up?
Nothing from me.
Belton.
Don't trust the seagulls.
Yeah, don't let the fuckers get you down.
Exactly.
Nice one.